everyone's doing good, man, but this is my second episode. I was hoping to have a buddy join. So maybe he'll hop on here, not sure. But today I just want to talk a little bit about focus, frequency, intake, and output. Um, so obviously we know focus is the reason we're able to learn or do what we do. Um, Focus is the reason behind how we perceive things, and it's essentially um, our consciousness, or vice versa. Consciousness is our focus, or awareness is our focus. Blah blah blah. It's all the same thing, and they all tie together. And for this reason, we're able to intake things, and we're able to output, and they have a huge impact on our reality. Intake and output, and I think intake is the most important because we live in a consumer-based society where we're always buying things. We're always watching things or reading or learning or intaking information. It's the age of information. There's a lot going on. And these things impact us a lot more than what we think. And everyone, or all of each individual's output really is determined by what they intake, and nobody really thinks about it like that. Nobody really thinks like, wow, what I watch on TV or what I read or any of that stuff, it impacts you on a spiritual level. It's way deeper than what we would think. But the world we live in is so focused on the next thing, this, that, keep buying this, keep buying that. It's called either destination addiction or just anything that you think that anything on the outside is going to bring change, true change. And what I've learned that true change happens inside out. The things that we intake are something like music or TV or the books we read, news, who we hang out with. I mean, all those things, and all these things that we intake or even output have a certain vibration, and vibration is really determined by whoever is outputting. So if I'm listening to a podcast and whatever I'm saying or whatever I'm feeling is being output, so and what I output is influenced by what I intake. So something that somebody's outputting, whether it's news or music or TV, it's all being created by a group of people or someone. And these group of people or someone, it's by what they intake and what they've experienced. And so that's put out. So, I mean, like what we intake creates such a bigger impact on the world around us and the people around us than what we would think. And it's hard to think about because everyone's busy all the time. People work full time or go to school or they have kids. They have so much going on in life, and there's only so much time in a week to do it. So I've been kind of stepping out of my religious bubble lately. I started reading the Bhagavad Gita, which is it's essentially Hinduism. It's one of the holy books in Hinduism, and they talk a lot about discipline. The yogi is somebody who participates in the traditions made by Hinduism. And I think the Brahm actually is maybe where it originates, but I'm not sure. But it's pretty cool because it talks about discipline, and discipline is so important in this world. Like, you only have so much time in a day. You only have so much energy in a day, and you have to do that all by getting enough sleep, and you have to do all these things in such little compact time. And it says, the one who is disciplined is the one who is disciplined is the one who overcometh his struggles. And makes sense. If you're not disciplined and you're not taking responsibility on top of working and having all these responsibilities, you're not taking responsibility to actually do things that make you feel good and make you feel joy, you're not going to have the time to do it. If you don't exercise, or you don't do anything to get your body moving or take care of your body, or you don't do anything to take care of your mind, or do anything to balance your emotions, then you're not going to be really happy. I've been in this zone where all I do is wake up and I go to work, and then I come home and do whatever until I have to go to work the next day. And that was the most boring and most unfulfilling life I've ever felt. So as I'm still working on my discipline, especially in the past few weeks, because I had COVID, not had COVID, but I got tested for COVID. And then I had to take some time off work until my results came back, because my girlfriend's family all like came down with COVID, and they were all over the week before. So we just had to be careful. So I've been kind of spoiled lately of just getting like paid to stay home and start going to bed like at 2 a.m. just because I could. So I'm getting back on the discipline train, but discipline creates a lot of good habits. Discipline is really important. Um, okay. I always go off track, man. I was on track, and then I got started talking about Hinduism. Um, I got off track. But sometimes the things you don't want to do in life are the things you need to do. I used to think like, man, why can't I just live a life and do what I want? It takes balance, and I think doing certain things that you don't want to do can create spiritual growth, and it can make you feel better about yourself too. Like, one thing I don't like doing is laundry sometimes is meditative, but I don't necessarily like doing laundry. I don't get excited about it. um, Washing dishes, cleaning the kitchen, uh, any type of cleaning or housework, even going to the gym. Like, I like going to the gym, but I like to go to the gym because I feel good after going. I don't necessarily like working out and lifting and doing all that stuff. And I don't necessarily like eating vegetables or eating something healthy rather than eating Chick-fil-A or pizza or a big freaking juicy hamburger. And that kind of ties back to discipline. I do think that mm, I'm not a boring guy. I like food. I like unhealthy food. I like things that aren't good for you, man. I like American food. But there's some times where I realize that eating like that does not make me feel good. And sometimes I realize that not doing laundry is easy in the moment, but then the more I see that laundry pile up, the more dirty I feel, the worse I feel. So bringing balance to your schedule, or me bringing balance to my schedule, has helped me a lot. And I'm working on it. It's not like it's in perfect synchronicity or anything like that. Um, these things ultimately will impact you in a better way too, doing the simple things. And sometimes you think like, oh man, I don't have enough time in a day to do laundry and clean and keep myself on top of it. But I mean, the more you do it, the more you find, the more it's easier to make time to do these things, because you realize like, oh man, if I fold these basket of clothes and hang them up, it takes 10 minutes at max. If I want to cook and wash the dishes and do that, I could do it, in an hour or less than an hour. And then you learn to do it quick. Like, I used to have such a hard time with dishes, and my mom was like, you're not washing the dishes along while you're cooking. If you wash the dishes as you're cooking, she's like, it's so much easier. And now I cook dinner and I realize like, whoa, like I did meal prep today and it took me like an hour, and I baked like 5 pounds of chicken, like 10 servings of rice, a huge bag of green beans. And I made all this within an hour and had the dishes washed within an hour. And I felt good after doing it. It's therapeutic, man. It's therapeutic, very therapeutic. Cooking is very therapeutic to me, at least. And anyone who likes cooking, I would suggest you cook more in the kitchen and eat out less. Um, these are actually good tactics too. Now that I'm kind of just rambling about housework, blah blah blah, these are actually good tactics too to keep you distracted from the media, keep you distracted from too much TV or music. Kind of just getting in your own element, getting away from the screen, and it's kind of like a meditation in itself. Folding clothes and washing dishes and doing cleaning. It's kind of meditative. It kind of clears up. It kind of cleans out your mental space too. And but let's get back to intake, man. Intake is weird because being in a consumer-based society, that's all we do. And with all this media and TV and technology, basically all these companies that are getting us to buy from them, technology plays a big role because we're always on our phones, we're always on watching TV, we're always on the computer, we're always doing these things, and advertisements are everywhere. And these big companies and corporations that make so much money, I mean, they make so much money, man. They can advertise anything anywhere, and we just basically just start, that's all we see. And even if we don't think we see it, we still see it, and it's stored in our subconscious. Like commercials, by chance, if it's, let's say it's, I mean, any big company trying to sell you something, like they know what they're doing. They basically get you to, they use emotions like fear or happiness or laughter, and they use these things to basically get people to buy stuff. Fear, I don't have any good examples of, but I know there's so many commercials out there that involve humor to make people laugh. So then it's a good way for them to market their brand. Like you watched a commercial and you laughed, and then you see State Farm or Nike, or you see any big name brand company after that, you're like, oh, I'm going to buy that. And you don't even realize it because that company just basically left you with a really positive memory of their brand through their commercial. And I think for local and small businesses, if they had more opportunities for advertisement on TV and stuff, they would do so much better. But TV advertising is so much more expensive than advertising, in a newspaper or getting out there with social media. I mean, it's all about the outlet, but obviously a lot of these places that build billboards and online billboards and all these different things, they're gonna let Target and Amazon and these big companies are gonna pay these places that basically run the advertising a lot more than smaller local businesses. So small local businesses, they have to manage on going around their community. But I mean, that's awesome. I think that's awesome. Getting out there and actually connecting instead of using technology all the time. It can be deceiving. It's very deceiving in a way that we don't realize that it's deceiving because they're using that happy emotion to get you to buy their product so they can profit off of it. They're not using the happy note. They're not using that because they truly think that you need it. They just know that they can benefit off of you because we're consumers. And it's a hierarchy. It's consumers and basically who has all the product, big name corporations, the government, and all these people high up, or they take control of everything, or they work together with these big corporate companies. And basically it's a huge monopoly of just control all of our product. They control what we intake, and we don't ever question it. And when are we going to start questioning? Like I said in my last one, when are we going to start questioning what we intake? I think that's important because what we intake is what we give out, and we need to be outputting, man, truth and love. And truth and love are so much more different than what you would think. I thought to myself, I need to come on here and be more smiley. But if I'm on here trying to be a little bit serious, like, I'm not trying to not smile, but I'm not going to smile if it's not natural. It's more so I'm talking on here, we're talking, and I'm talking to you guys. And it's a different kind of situation for me because I'm not used to talking to people like this. You know, if I was, instead of it's the webcam, if it was a group of people, dude, I don't like talking in front of a group of people. So it's really kind of what I'm doing. But the society we live in, it's all based on control, 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 control. We have no say anymore on anything, you know? The crazy thing too with technology is I learned that updates through our phones and our laptops and devices, they say updates actually are installed to slow down the device. So then it keeps slowing down. By the time the new one's out, then your device isn't as fast or as efficient as it used to be when you got it. So then that makes you have to get the new thing because that thing, it's just a weird cycle how it all works. Because technology is not made to last, it's made to fail. It's made to fail because these tech companies, and they know they can profit more if their stuff is made to fail. It's made to last short term, you know. Like you get a phone and there's like a 1 year or 2 year plan, and a lot of the times people don't even last that, 12-month or 18-month plan with their phone because it breaks or something like that happens to it. Like I really would like to know the cost of a phone because I think my phone, I have this Samsung Galaxy S8 or no, S10, and no, dude, I'm so S20, sorry, S20 5G is what it's called. And I think my phone's like $700 or something like that. And that's crazy. And I wonder how much they cost to make because I know they're crapping these out like it's a piece of candy in a candy factory. Like it's not like it takes some complicated process. The only thing that was complicated when they were making phones was the first one and then getting through the prototypes with the malfunctions and stuff. But once they perfect one or two of them, then millions are perfected. So that's how technology kind of works and how I see it, at least. There's just a huge monopoly going on around us, man. Poverty is at an all-time, I mean, the level of rich compared to the poor. I mean, the top 0.0000001% of people make more money combined than the rest. And I mean, the number is insane. I think it was like the 30th richest people. Let me look it up real quick. Because I actually think this is interesting. Top 30 wealthiest. Oh, the richest 50 Americans are worth as much as the poorest 165 million. I don't know how accurate that fact is, but I mean it makes sense to me. Obviously, if you just look at Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates together, the amount of money they make together is ridiculous. Um, some people feel different about it. Some people like the system, and this kind of gets into like the Matrix, man. Like this is a nobody really knows what's going on. We just trust the people that run the world and the structure of the world. We trust them enough to live our lives, and it's just weird. I don't want to hold anyone here too long because I don't know. I'm trying to post shorter videos to make people think differently about a podcast. It's hard to sit down on a podcast and listen to one person talk forever. So hopefully this one was not too long. Hopefully I had some type of points I definitely started writing, but I told myself, I was like, screw it, man. I'm just gonna go on a ramble. I kind of like rambling. It's nice to ramble, talk, schmalk, walk, chalk. Well, if whoever tuned in, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll probably be back sometime next week. Not sure. I'm really going to start working on getting people on here and talking as well. So it's going to see how that goes. I got a couple people I've been talking to, and it's going to see where it leads, man. I'm just here doing it, here rolling the dice, not worried about the price.